Skyrover seems like they popped up overnight and got a ton of attention very quickly, and I'm really excited to talk about this little thing, the Skyrover S1. We have another drone from them now. You can just look at the quality of this thing before we get into the hodgepodge nuance details, numbers and whatnot. This is what we're looking at, a drone that can produce quality like this. So it has the potential in it to get footage like this, and it's got forward-facing infrared sensors for obstacle avoidance, which is crazy for the price. You get the forward-facing and the bottom sensors, and it looks like a stormtrooper. When you have a YouTube channel, you get all kinds of solicitors trying to send you free stuff. Temu does not stop hounding me. They want you to make videos on their things. Most of the time when people ask me about drones and reviewing their stuff, their product's not very good, so I avoid most of them. This is the first time in a long time I'm making a review about a different brand, and the only reason I'm taking the time to make this thing is because we may have found a reasonable alternative to a DJI drone. So this new S1 that Skyrover has is a 1/2 inch sensor, so that's a little smaller than the Mini 3 sensor. You can get it straight from Amazon with the discount. It's f2.8, so it's not as sensitive in low light. A 1/2 inch sensor calls for alarm. That's what I thought at first too. It shoots 4K 60 frames a second. It'll do a hyperlapse. It will fly away really far. It can shoot raw format photos, H.265 footage. There's manual video controls, panoramic photos, follow me modes. There are bottom sensors, and there's forward facing sensors that are infrared. So it does have obstacle avoidance, and that is a big step up for a drone this size that is like the lighter, simpler tier compared to the Pro model. The Pro model in this case would be the X1, and this is a simpler, cleaner version without all the extra bells and whistles. Namely, the obstacle avoidance is watered down, so it's just the front. So the X1 has been entertaining people in a very niche corner of the internet for a little while. People who've got this thing are really vocal and very excited about it because it is a really big surprise to have a drone come out of nowhere like this and just perform. Skyrover said this S1 should be on similar footing as the DJI Mini 3, the standard version. So initially I tested it out with that as a comparison, and it is not true at all. The Mini 3 is way behind this thing. The S1 is actually more closely on par with the Mini 4 Pro's camera. The exposure balancing in the daytime feels way more similar to the Mini 4 Pro. I'm not saying it's the same camera. I'm just saying it's competing in the same weight class, so it's similar enough that you will get results in that realm of quality. Let's compare the Mini 4 Pro to the S1. So tell me what you think here. Both of these are in full auto, 30 frames a second. Which camera's which? Which one is clearly worse? The S1 is doing a really impressive job since we basically never see DJI get a run for its money. Once again, middle of the day, this is a good test for exposure balancing and dynamic range. You can see that these are clearly different, and the sensor and hardware is adapting differently to the color. Doesn't make it worse though. So after day one discovering all of this, I was way more excited to go use this thing. This thing should win an award just for being able to compete. It doesn't even have to win, it just needs to give it a run for its money. Immediately I noticed one other thing that felt like the world's biggest cramp being undone. Finally, somebody out there has validated all my complaints about the herky-jerk, stupid go-kart settings that all of these drones come with by default. I don't know why. It's like they act like they've never touched an RC before, but they're in the business of making RCs. All of these companies pretty much on the market will give you a drone that just jerks left, jerks right, and you have to go fine-tune all these settings to make it act normal. By default, I didn't have to change anything about the way the controls work to make this move how I want it to. I screwed around with it for like 20 seconds practicing the flight, and I got a grasp on how it works, and now with a new make and model of drone, I'm looking down, flying left, drifting, turning right at the same time. Finally, Skyrover has controls that from the get-go, super intuitive. You do have the option to go change all of these settings manually if you want to tinker with them, and I'm sure at some point I will. But right now, I'm just happy with the way the default settings are because they've just been working really good. So here's where we hit a wall with this thing. The camera performs in the daytime like a Mini 4 Pro, but at nighttime, it feels like the Mini 3. So there's a very fast drop off in visibility. Things look really rich and beautiful with any light, but the second the sun is down, the footage is weak, super thin, it lacks any life in the highlights. Color grading doesn't bring much out of it, which means there really wasn't any data there to begin with that was being collected from the sensors. So, and weirdly, I give them credit for it because again, that just means it's a different camera and a different setup. They had to kind of figure this out on their own. However, long exposure photos, of course, look wonderful because drone photography technology is just way ahead of video for the most part. You can do a hyperlapse with this thing as well, shooting long exposures. So it'll record 12 megapixel raw format photos if you change the settings to save those. And then I go edit them manually, and I do it in a special way so that, you know, it's stabilized better. It looks a lot more rich and colorful. Way higher quality than the app made one that you're going to get when you run the hyperlapse. And this was using 1/3 of a second shutter instead of 1/2 second shutter, which was my fault. I was kind of in a hurry because I didn't want the battery to die on me and I wanted to get this done with while the sun was going down. It could look better than this though. I should have used a 1/2 second shutter and 200 ISO, but you get the idea that it has the potential to do this kind of stuff. Range, I haven't had any hiccups or issues with this for the most part. I don't have any less confidence with this thing though than my other drones, so far so good. It's not like I'm scared to go a certain distance. The connection has felt confident, rock solid. I also get satellites really quickly, 25 satellites immediately turning this thing on. But now that I'm doing this range test, I'm starting to get hiccups here. Not that I don't see what's going on, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a sputter, and more importantly, since you guys are looking at the screen recording, all you see is this right here. I'm still fine, but the RC does say bad connection. So I was sitting in my car behind this big metal pole, and maybe that has a little bit to do with it, because as soon as I stood up outside of my car and moved to the left like 5 feet, it back to full connection. Everything works fine after that. I don't want to go over the highway though. I'm over here, so this is how far away the drone was. That's way farther than I ever need to go anyway. I started flying back, and by the way, look at how you can see all the traffic waves being absorbed at this one spot where there's this car wreck. And thankfully I have this 2X that I can try out here to get a little bit closer while I'm flying back and nosy on these people having the worst day of their life. There's also a 3X, but the quality is way too big of a drop for my liking. Most of the time I'll just do the 1X though, and honestly just crop in editing. There's also these one button filming modes, which means that you just press a button and then it's gonna give you a countdown and take off. Droney, rocket, circle, helix, and asteroid. I don't know if you've seen one of these where it just flies up in the air and then it bends the edges to make it look like it's a little tiny planet in case you really need that. And then the rocket one just goes straight up in the air and points down and aims at you, so it's like a rocket taking off. And it is consistent. This way you don't jerk a little bit in the middle of a shot and ruin it or something. This just kind of takes a little bit of the edge off. Follow me modes. There's point of interest, spotlight, and ActiveTrack. Spotlight is just going to aim at you wherever you go to. ActiveTrack, I always agree to give it a whirl, though I don't depend on it super hard in my day or for clients. So with my lifestyle, I'm too lazy to bike and I'm too Shrek-like to surf. So I just shop for equipment online and then abandon the idea last second, and that seems to work for me every year or so. But if you like to ride your bike and have this follow you, yes it will. Just remember, it's assistance, it's not perfect, so it can still hit a phone line, it can still hit small tree branches. People have been calling the X1 a Mini 4 Pro clone, just in a different color. Lots of people are saying this is a DJI shell company to circumvent the non-responsive US government and the toddlers that are running it. I found a lot in this drone that supports that idea, and then a ton that just makes it not really seem likely. DJI did tell me though that they have nothing to do with Skyrover. So if DJI has nothing to do with Skyrover, they're going to say that they don't have anything to do with it. If they have everything to do with it, they're going to say that they have nothing to do with it. There's really no way to tell. I mean, I just want to throw that out there that I did ask, and that was the response. And this is also what's bugging me about this thing. When I say that there are as many differences and similarities with a DJI drone, the body is unique. The materials, when you hold it, it feels and looks totally different. The insides, the components, the weight distribution, and I've held a lot of drones. My impulse isn't really that this is just a DJI with a shell changed. It doesn't feel that simple. It doesn't feel that way. So this feels completely new to me, this like whole body, which was so cool to see, to open it up and not be disappointed immediately. But then there's this little head on here, this camera, and this is just like the Mini 4K's camera. In fact, the Mini 4K's ND filters also fit on this thing, and that's what I've been using on this thing, and it works fine. It does take a short and long press to turn it on like DJI, but then it will do the world's ugliest honk, which is different. The software looks different, but not so different that I would say it's all completely new, like from the ground up, the way Autel is. When you turn that on, you can tell they had to do everything from scratch, which I always gave them credit for. With this one, the placements are really similar. The icons are identical. You have the same little icons floating over here, like the graph layout, where your settings are, how to control them and change them. It could have just been basically DJI software as a template, and then whatever changes they need to make, they did to adjust it to fit this drone. The blurred lines kind of give me the feeling that this is DJI's homework, and then Skyrover copied and then changed a couple of the answers, not so that the teacher can't tell what happened, but just so that if it's in a court of law, they technically can't prove without a shred of a doubt that it's not completely a coincidence. So there's visible similarities, but same, but different. I am 1,000,000% excited to finally be able to talk about a different manufacturer of drones, and this is just the second product that they have released. So now they're selling accessories, and then people say online that the support's been good, so they're not overwhelmed, and it's a company that's not so huge you can't reach them and get on, in contact to help you if you have issues. But that and the accessories are a really good sign, so it's really fun to see a company in its infancy, and based off of all the green flags that I've seen so far, I'm really excited to see them try a larger body drone. Although that is where things get dicier, because you are competing to a different standard then. There's going to be a lot more scrutiny when reviewing in comparison to other brands, because picture quality, the bar for competition is so high that they will really have to, pull out all the tricks. But really, step one was knocking this out of the park, and this is where so many companies immediately fail. I'm happy to just see it get this far. Super happy with this thing. Very excited to see what Skyrover does, and I hope that they can keep this up.